Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. I know I had a pretty challenging week trading, and I think that's my own fault. I know the market has been a little tricky, but I think I overcomplicated some things. So we're going to go back to the basics today. We're only going to be trading one chart. It's going to be the ES. I want to go trade the less volatile of the two indices. We're going to be trading the ES on the 2000 tick chart. We're only going to be trading one account. And we're going to keep it really simple. I also want to make the stream very beginner friendly, so if people are watching this, they can actually learn how to trade my system. So with all that in mind, we're going to use the KISS rule. We're going to keep it simple. All right, let's take a look at the daily chart on the ES, shall we? You can see right now we're having a really hard time getting above this 68, 64 area. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and mark it. Good morning, Doug. Yes, keeping it super simple today. I think I've overcomplicated things the last few days, and it has eaten into my focus. And my execution has been subpar. So I am going to mark this level here. Actually, we'll make this dot. All right. So since this is a major daily level, I am going to copy and paste this into my 2000 tick chart, and you'll see it right there. We haven't been able to get above it. So a major area of resistance up there. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete some of these lines I had drawn earlier from this morning. Let's see where we are currently, what trade is on the table. All right, so the golden ruler is right here. This purple line is our 5 p.m. close yesterday for the futures, and this gray line is the 4 p.m. New York close. All right, so the market is currently in this bearish move. I think we were also in this bullish move, but it hit target. Yep. We have about 7 minutes before market opens. Okay, let's see if we have any news today. We do have news at 9:45, final services PMI. That's a yellow folder, so may or may not move the market. But we do have a red folder event at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern, ISM services PMI. So that could very well move the market. Yeah, it's a very stubborn level, Doug. It's what's keeping the uptrend from continuing, really. In fact, we're now kind of getting this look here. We're getting a new downward trend line look like that. All right, let me mark some other important trend lines. We have this downward trend line here. Okay, we have about a little over 3 minutes before market opens. We have the overnight low marked down here as well at 68.12, I think. So we're going to keep an eye out on that as well. Okay, so now the market is in this bullish trade. Although you could also argue that this could have been the bullish trigger over here as well. 917 candle. Regardless, we're not taking any of these trades right before market open. Yep, we got those. Those are exactly, that's exactly right, Doug. I think the the non-farm employment change, the forecast was 5K and the actual number was negative 32K. That's not good. I think that's why we got the drop that we did at 8:15ish. Right around here we started dropping. All right, we have a little under a minute now, about 35 seconds till market opens. Okay, the market's open now. We do have the 5-minute 8 EMA above our heads here. This is a 5-minute chart. Alright, so we're currently in this bearish trade right here. It's not really a very good zone to take trades on, though, either direction. We're kind of choppy in this zone here. I would have normally shorted it right there, but I'm going to be playing it a little bit more cautiously today. Okay. And the reason why I didn't go short there is because I really think this trade here, this 917 trade, wanted to work. And there you go. It did hit target, right? Question is, do I want to take it long here? I think the answer is not yet. Alright, so we're testing this zone right here, this high. Question is, can we close and keep going? We do have VWAP overhead here at 68.40. We got this downward trend line now. And we're kind of stuck in a wedge at the moment, so all right, this trade triggered higher. But again, we're underneath that trend line. So not a very good setup. Excuse me. I would say the price is probably really choppy right now because we got two pieces of news happening at 9:45, which is in about 6 minutes, and then one at 10. So I would imagine news would be kind of choppy leading up to that, or price action would be choppy leading up to the news rather. Also, if you look at the 5-minute NQ, we are having a hard time getting above this 8 EMA here. And this looks very bearish. 5-minute ES, we're above the 8 EMA. We're trying to hold and go back up and maybe retest VWAP. So it's... And now you're starting to see the ES fail a little bit. So now we actually have this trend line right there above our heads. And now we have an even tighter wedge forming like this. So something is going to give You're getting pressure from both sides. All right, we're pushing up. Can we get through this resistance line? I mean, obviously VWAP is the next area of resistance overhead, but this target here is right. And by the way, the target also happens to coincide with yesterday's close at 4 p.m. So this could be a major area of resistance overhead here. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Wait, I shouldn't have done that. We're still in this trade technically. We haven't hit the target. All right, we got this trend line going now. What's interesting is this EMA is holding for the most part, with the exception of these two candles. We are still maintaining an upward trend right here. The short-term trend here since 9/17-ish or 9/10 has been an upward trend with higher highs and higher lows, right? Question is, what do we do at VWAP, right? I think one way or the other, the news, whether it's in 1 minute at 9:45 or the 10 o'clock news, I think is going to push the market out of this range. So regardless, like, we can't really take any trades right now because we're in this really tight range in both directions. Good question, Doug. What is the NQ doing? Let's look at the NQ real quick. It's also stuck in this sort of chop. But notice the NQ looks more bearish with lower highs and lower lows than the ES. When you don't get confluence between both indices, it's actually a lot harder to trade, right? You still got sort of this wedge look as well. And I think right now, if 500 seems to be that level that is, yeah, 500 seems to be that level of contention. Forgot to mark this, but we're technically in this bearish trade too. So we're in both a bullish and a bearish trade at the same time. And you guys have heard me say this time and time again. It's never good when you get both sides triggering. It means there's indecision, right? I think people are waiting for this 10 o'clock news. It's my personal take on it. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure being built. Also, we're starting to, as soon as we started going down, there's buyers down here. See that bounce up? Yeah, in situations like this, you don't really want to guess which way it's going to go before it does. What you want to do is see which way it eventually goes, get confirmation, and see if you can get a retest and go in that same direction. Otherwise, you're flipping a coin. We have about 11 minutes before the news, so I'm imagining we're gonna get some sort of fireworks then. All right, so we're completely out of this bullish move now because it stopped out, and the bearish move did hit its target. Let's start deleting lines that no longer matter. And our golden ruler does move right underneath VWAP. Going back to our daily chart just to kind of see where we're at. We basically were testing the body of yesterday, the bottom portion of the body, It's maybe why we have a lot of I don't want to use the word resistance. That's not the right word. Opposition in this area here. It's a zone, the 68.29 zone. Sellers want to clear it and probably go all the way down to retest yesterday's low, right? If they go lower. And then if the bulls get their way, get above VWAP, probably going to go up here and try to test this really strong zone. So it's a matter of time. I think, if anything, I realize it's boring not taking trades or whatever, but you know, I think what got me the last few days is being really impatient, and I'd rather not make that mistake again. I'd rather just be waiting for really good setups, right? Yeah, better to wait. Honestly, like, I should be playing the long game, right? I should only be trying to take the best setups every day, and it all kind of works out over the long run, rather than forcing trades. I think I was forcing a lot of trades the last couple of days. Yes, cash is a position. That's correct. All right. So we're currently in this bearish move here, but again, all the support underneath us here with the standard deviation and this trend line. We're breaking through it though. We're starting to see the NQ and the ES break down now, so. Yep. FOMO is an account killer. I think for me, the thing that kills accounts for me is revenge trading. Which, it's a vicious cycle, right? I don't get into revenge trading unless I don't follow my rules and I take a mediocre setup and it stops me out. And I don't get mad because I lost money. I get mad because I know better and I shouldn't have been in that trade to begin with, right? And so then shame starts creeping in. And when shame starts creeping in, my response is, well, I gotta fix it. I gotta fix it quickly. And that's the trap, guys. That's the trap. Yeah, revenge trading basically, for me, is derived from shame and from not following my rules and me trying to correct my mistake as quickly as possible. That's how I enter revenge trading. And let me tell you guys, I'm still working on that. It is my biggest Achilles heel. And it's the source of tons of frustration. Because if I can get rid of revenge trading from my trading, I can be extremely profitable and consistent. And it's an issue of patience too, because think about it. When you enter a state of revenge trading, you're basically saying, I need to fix this problem and I need to fix it yesterday. right now. And then you end up forcing more trades, taking on bigger size, and then you dig yourself an even bigger hole than if you would have just been patient, accepted the fact that you made a mistake. Because we're all going to make mistakes. We're not going to always execute things perfectly, right? Forgiving yourself and just continue to trade your plan. Now, that's easier said than done. But in pursuit of seeking out this level of patience, especially in our trading, that's what we're focusing on today. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to be following our rules. And we're going to try our best to not make mistakes. And if we make mistakes, that's okay. Like, you have to tell yourself that. We're going to make mistakes. It's part of trading. You're not going to always execute things 100% perfectly, right? And so I hope, really, I hope on this channel, you guys will start seeing me exhibit the spirit of excellence. What do I mean by that? That I take trades with integrity, I follow my rules, and if I make mistakes, I forgive myself, and I continue to move forward without getting overly emotional. Now, there's nothing wrong with being emotional. That's how we were created. We're emotional beings. But how do we work with our emotions? Because I don't expect anybody to be a robot and just trade perfectly, ones and zeros. And that's not fun anyway. I actually enjoy emotion if it's healthy, especially if we win, right? I want to celebrate that. And so I'm going to do my very best on this channel to try to exhibit the very best of me. I'm going to work on that so that you guys can be the very best of you. And ideally, we can work together, make some money, trade some prop firms, get some nice cash outs, and we all go on vacation somewhere. Why not? So I guess my question to the chat is, when we get to that point, not if, when we get to that point, where would you guys like to vacation? Personally, for me, I love the sun. I love the beach. I love a little R&R. I love what they call vitamin C, right? Instead of not just C as in cat, but C as in SEA. I think it's really good for you. All right, we have news in about 8 seconds here. Let's see if we get any fireworks in either direction. Sounds like a lot of fun, Doug. I've actually never been to the Virgin Islands. I've been to different parts of, I've been to the Bahamas. I've been to Cancun, but never the Virgin Islands. I've been on cruises. Those are fun. All right, we finally hit our target here on this bullish signal from 954, but we couldn't have taken it down here. You guys saw all that potential resistance that we were facing, and it finally broke through it, right? So let's go ahead and delete these lines. These are no longer valid. And if you guys are wondering why we are stuck, well, we do have standard deviation above our heads. But also, if you look at the 5-minute, we ran up against a 21 EMA. And the same thing on the NQ. We're running up against that 21 EMA on the NQ on the 5-minute. So we really got to get over the standard deviation, or VWAP in this case, if you want to continue this bullish move. And it looks like we are. And I might actually take my first trade here if we can come back down. And if the trade decided to go without us, that's okay. That's awesome, Lars. I actually have my my cousin, who's like my sister. She's married to a Brazilian guy. Awesome dude. And he wants us to come and plan a visit. I mean, he lives here in the States, but he wants to plan a big trip to Brazil, and I would love to go with him and his family. I think it would be a ton of fun. Brazil's on my visit list for sure. I just want to go with someone who knows the lay of the land and can speak Portuguese. Do you surf, Lars? That's awesome. I could never get into surfing because my balance... Yeah, I'm more of a boogie boarding, bodyboarding type of guy. But I love the idea of surfing though. You know, trading is a lot like surfing, right? Yeah, I want to try it next time. You gotta wait for the waves to come. And you gotta know which waves to take and which waves to pass on. I think it's a beautiful analogy for trading. Doug, that sounds like a lot of fun, escaping the winter and going to the nice tropical climates. I hope you have a ton of fun. There is always another wave to surf. Yep. Where are you going to be setting sail from, Doug? Are you flying down to Miami? All right, we're approaching VWAP again. Let's see how price behaves here. All right, we're gonna take this bearish move here. Oh, maybe not. Well, I'm glad I didn't get filled. The idea is we're breaking down. We broke through the standard. So we broke through VWAP. We closed underneath it. We closed underneath the EMA. That was the idea there. Let's see what we do here. Why won't it let me take this order? Okay, something is wrong. It's not even letting me take trades. It won't let me take the trade. Okay. Can I take it? It won't let me take it. I was trying to go up now at this point, but honestly, because we're holding VWAP, Doug, so I'm hoping that we get some bullish momentum here. It's not letting me place the order. There's also looks like it's a battleground anyway. I got to figure out how to get an order in. It's not letting me place any order. What happens if I change? Okay, so this one works. This account works. This account does not work. Why? What is going on? I might have to reset Ninja. Well, let me reset Ninja real quick. That's frustrating. I'm not even sure if it's going up or down at this point. I don't have any charts up. And it takes about a few minutes to load these charts here. Yeah, I did do some praying this morning. Maybe he's looking out for me. He's always looking out for me. Let's rephrase that. Let's rephrase that. All right, charts are loading. And you guys are seeing the wrong chart. Okay, 1 second. All right, I think you guys are seeing the right chart now. Okay, well. Yeah, I would have gotten stopped out, I think. 37. Yep, I would have gotten stopped out. Yeah, wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? All right, let me see if I can still place a trade. Yes, I can. Okay. We are back in business, guys. Just needed to reset Ninja. All right, so where are we currently, right? What trade are we in the middle of? This bearish one right here, triggered to the downside. I think the idea, I loved Santa Claus, the idea of Santa Claus growing up, but I think thinking about it as an adult, someone who's watching over you all the time and judging you for being naughty or nice, I think that's why we're all so messed up as we gotten older. We think we can only be loved if we're behaving a certain way, if we're only being good, quote unquote. And I think the idea of love, true love, is unconditional, right? Like my performance shouldn't be what warrants whether or not I should receive love, right? And unfortunately, I think most of us get that part messed up, especially as adults. These are things I'm thinking about as I'm raising my son, right? Like, of course I want him to be, exhibit good behavior, but at the same time, I don't want that to just be the only criteria where he feels like he's only going to get love. He's only going to get love that way, right? All right, we're in bearish. Now, can we get sellers to actually step in and move this thing down for us? All right. If you guys are probably wondering why this trade is not working, look at the 5-minute chart. We're having a hard time getting underneath this 8 EMA, which is acting as support. This was a beautiful bearish setup, though. I'm not mad about taking this trade. We're probably going to get stopped out. There it is. Not mad at all. I think it was a great setup. See, that kind of a trade would not put me on tilt. But if I took a mediocre setup and I lost, and it happened 2 or 3 times, then the revenge trading starts creeping in. I think with this trade, though, if I was really paying attention, I would have seen that we had the ADMA underneath us, but I had just loaded up NinZaRenko. Also, I would have drawn this upward trend line as it's made its way back up, and notice we don't have room to hit our 6 points to the downside anymore. So I'm always looking back and critiquing my trades, especially the ones that lose, and asking myself, why didn't it work? So I gave you 2 reasons in this case. We ran into the 8 EMA on the 5-minute, which I was not paying attention to. That's my bad. And we would have redrawn this trend line here as it's going back to retest VWAP, and we would have seen that we don't have enough room to come back down anymore. So those are 2 reasons. 2 reasons why the trade didn't work. And sometimes there may not be a good reason and your trade just stops out, and that's okay. Here we are going to look to take a bullish trade if it can come down here to this EMA. All right, it was supposed to get me in. There we go. I'm in. Now can we go up? This might be another stop loss. Yeah, that stinks. What stinks was, look at all the support we had overhead. We were up here. We had this EMA, this VWAP, this EMA, and it just did not want to go up. Again, I thought it was a pretty solid trade. At this point, we want to go down. But we might get stopped out again. This kind of price action, I think, is got me in trouble earlier this week. So, yep. 3 stop losses in a row is not good. I think in this case, probably the should have respected this upward trend line here that we drew earlier. And now we're stuck back in this wedge. That is a little frustrating. Alright, so we're currently in this bullish trade here, but I am going to have to respect this downward trend line that I drew. I mean, this was the move I was looking for when we got in bullish here. And we unfortunately got stopped out, only for it to go back up. And that happens. That happens. Candles are also kind of moving slow right now. All right, so we did hit target on this bullish move here, but it took 5 minutes, which is not too bad, I suppose, but usually the market's a little faster than that during this time of the day. Okay, we're coming back to VWAP. Our favorite area. I'm being sarcastic, if you can't tell. Okay, we will take this trade here if it wants to get me in. Let's move it one tick above. All right, I really do need buyers to step in here. Doesn't look like they want to. Doesn't look like they want to one bit. All right, this is what I was looking for. Can we get a continuation? Let me show you what I'm also seeing on the 5 minute. We are above these two EMAs right here, and this should be a strong area of support. Buyers should be stepping in here, and they're not. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Don't tell me I'm only going to get stopped out by one tick. Okay, we're going to try this again. Hey Tola, how are you doing, sir? Well, we just took our first winning trade and we're green. Finally green. We've had a very frustrating few trades, but we're green again. So let's keep going from here. So this is the idea that you guys saw finally play out. I just didn't have my stop loss in the right place. So I re-entered. And that was the move I was looking for. What a move, right? How are you doing today, Tola? This was actually a bearish move here. We hit target, but we missed it. So each box here, are you talking about these lines, Doug? Each line is 1 point. It just helps me to determine, you know, 1 point's $50, right? $50 per mini contract. Happy to hear you're doing well, Tola. It's part of the Ninja screen. If you right click on the y-axis, it gives you, I don't think you could see my properties, but it gives you the option of adding these horizontal lines and what value you want to give them. And I gave them a value of 1 because I want to know where 1 point is. But yeah, it's standard with Ninja. Doug. Okay, we're actually above 68.50, and if you guys remember yesterday, this was a bear of a level, right? You can see it here, 12:30. We could see it here around the close yesterday. 68.50 just was a strong zone. So let's see how it plays out today. I'm hoping we continue the bullish momentum here and for 68.50 to hold. It doesn't look like that's what's happening. But let's just see. It'll be nice if we get 2 winning trades in a row. At this point, I'm going to move it to break even. Either the bullish momentum continues here, or we fail and go back down. So we really need to break this level here. And if I get stopped out for break even, that's okay. It was worth a try. Right now what I'm seeing is a little bit of resistance. Probably like that looks like this. Look at that perfect line. We really need to get above this area here. Well, we finally did get the trigger higher here. Well, we still got this resistance line in the way. Yep. So I will not be taking a trade at 68.50. There you go. You see that rejection right there. I think one of the other things I wasn't doing the last couple of days was keeping track of my trend lines. And I'm usually pretty good about that. I mean, my whole strategy evolves around trend lines and key areas, right? So, all right, we're in this bearish move here. Trying to see if we can retest the standard deviation level and roll over. Okay, we're in bearish. I would also look for 68.50 to be resistance here. Okay, can we get some bearish momentum? Okay, I'm moving it to break even at this point. We really need to just flush right now or it's not going to work. It needs to flush right now. All right, well, happy we tried with that one. It could still work. It's just too choppy. It's too choppy. I mean, you can see, wow, it even made one last effort here, broke this candle, and yet buyers are stepping in. Something is strange about this level that we're in right now. Well, I guess I should have been drawing this trend line here, huh? So I got to ask myself, why is it behaving that way? And my best answer that I can give you is this trend line right there, which is now this trend line here. So yeah, I think we prevented a stop loss, but we're in a very tricky zone right now. I'll tell you what, if you can learn how to navigate through these tricky zones and being patient and just sit on your hands, you will do well. Because when the market is easy and it just gives you trades, then obviously those are going to work, right? But when you're in a situation like this where it's choppy and back and forth and you're learning to be patient, or maybe even just walking away altogether, that's going to help you do well in the long run. At this point, I would have loved to take this bullish here, but we still have that downward trend line that's in the way. So it's just a very tricky situation. Yes, Doug, I want us to break this downward trend line here. It's because this could potentially be developing a lower high, right? You have a high, potentially lower high here that could be forming. It formed a lower high here, but we got a higher high than this. It's confusing, right? The structure is just not there. So because of these conflicting signals, I just better not to take a trade. And you guys have seen price today. The follow-through has been horrendous. I mean, the only trade that finally got us some really decent follow-through was right here at 1033. We caught a bid around VWAP, and you saw how quickly it splashed up. It splashed up in a matter of literally this whole movie. There's like 4 seconds. These 3 candles. So yeah, I want us to break out of this zone. You're a funny dude, Doug. You're a funny guy. I'm probably going to wrap things up anyway in the next few minutes. I do have another 11 o'clock meeting, but tomorrow I'll be back on at 9:20 a.m. Eastern, and I will be streaming probably for 2 hours. So I know this week has been short because of my meetings obligations at 11 o'clock. I am doing the swing trading room today, Doug. Yes, that's correct. But I hope you guys learned something, especially in this tricky environment, especially around mindset, especially around forgiving yourself if you make mistakes. I think that's important. And forgiving others. Holding, even if other people don't deserve forgiveness, at the end of the day, if you can learn to forgive other people that have done you wrong, you're giving yourself the peace that you deserve. So it's not so much about whether they deserve it or not. It's more so about you getting the peace that you need so you can move forward in life. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream today. We will be back on tomorrow, as I mentioned. Same bat time, same bat channel. As always, it's been a pleasure being on here with all of you guys. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.